Hello, my name is Nathanael Manning, and currently I work with YWAM Latvia as a missionary. I'm originally from the United States, but as I mentioned, in Latvia now. I became a Christian when I was very young. Truthfully, the only memory I have of it is like sitting on the edge of my bed with my dad when I was like 3 years old. And I'm kind of happy I don't have much more of a story than that. And this isn't for everyone, of course, but for me, I'm really happy because there's not been a time in my life when I transitioned from non-Christian to Christian. It's just been, as far as I can remember, I've lived with the Holy Spirit and with God. And for good or for ill, for whatever mistakes I made, I made them when I was a Christian. And I can't say like, oh, that was my before Jesus time, because it was all Jesus. Right now, I think it's been about a year or two, there's been a verse that's been repeating in my head, and I won't say it's my favorite because it's really annoying, but it's Hebrews 12:1 and then half of the second verse, and it's, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. And I think it was repeating a lot in my mind because I was getting married and I wanted to be better. It was a little bit of the reason, and just different things in my life. Yeah. Right now, I really am looking up to my aunt. Her name is Sherry. She has adopted and taken care of 4 different handicapped children, and has taken care of her niece, who's also handicapped, for most of her life. And she loves kids and she runs a daycare. But recently, she did a devotional for my church online, and we watched it. And I think the thing that is most admirable about her is the fact that she's still growing and changing and still listening to God. And, that's not always when you get to someone in their 60s. Yeah, she's like 65 now. Like, you don't see them always being willing to grow and learn. And I think she is still willing to grow, still willing to learn, and still willing to change. She's not stuck in her ways, which is always very encouraging. And this last question is, what advice did you give to yourself when you were 13? I loved myself when I was 13. I was great. No. But there was some advice that I really lived by when I was 13, and I would like to share that. And it was something that I called the Cinderella complex, but isn't actually called that in any sense. But it's that everyone is too busy caring about what they look like to worry about what you look like. And so it's just if you realize this and live like this, most people around you are just too busy caring about everything that has to do with them to worry about you. And why do you need to care about their opinions if their opinions, they don't even have them, or if they do, they're too busy worrying about their own stuff. And truthfully, that pretty much describes me as a 13-year-old. I was like, I don't have to worry. And again, I liked the way I looked, and I liked the specific way that I looked, but I liked it, and that was the point. And I was like, if people spend too much time in the morning caring about themselves, to spend the time in the mirror caring about me. So who cares? Yeah.